All right, and we are back for those of you tuned back into the stream. Apologies for that, and we have some pushing and shoving just in time. Doug Wakeland and Dylan Coates going at it, and we have a bit of a Donnybrook here right in front of the UNLV goal. Welcome back to the broadcast for anyone who's just getting back in here. That's Schwab, and he's still barking at Kuntz and Wakeland, and that's a different sight there, AJ, for the normally even-keeled Wakeland to be mixing it up like that, and Schwab is going to be going, and so is Dylan Kuntz.
Well, what was that we were saying earlier, no love lost? Clearly, if Wakeland's getting involved, there really is no love lost. If your goalie, even-keeled, level-headed, if he's getting involved in the shoving, then
Lots going on.
lots going on.
A lot is going on. So once again, those of you who are back on the broadcast, we apologize for the technical difficulties and the stream going offline for a moment. Looks like there are some network issues here at the rink. So we got 2 minutes posted on the board for Dylan Kuntz and Schwab, 5:26 left in the second period. And we can only really attribute the connection issue to probably the rain in the area. We'll say that because I think this is really the only game where it was actually raining while the game is going on, because we've had some games here and there in the past where, we'd have rain in the area or it'd be very humid.
We've had some drizzle.
Yeah, but one of your first weekends it was raining that night, actually, but it was very light. So it was very, very strange occurrence. So once again, we apologize for those technical difficulties. If you're just now returning, still 1-1 with 5 minutes to go in the middle period. He didn't miss much, besides if you rewind the stream just a tad bit. Doug Wakeland got in it with Schwab, and Dylan Kuntz stepped up for his goaltender, and he goes, and centering try, a shot there, misses, and at glove side, that was Mario DiMaggio trying to label that thing top corner, and just missed the mark. And that's sent up ice. Dylan Ford breaks up that play. And now Jackson Wyatt with it on the left side. He cuts out to the left side boards and dances on the half wall. He pulls up just below the circle. He's under pressure at the goal line. Tries to feed it down low. Oliver Band is there trying to support. That puck makes its way free. Now Ford shooting one from the point. Blocked in front. And that's sent over to the half wall again. UNLV crashing towards the puck. And now the Utes break it out. Here's Slater, pulls up against Ford. Slater looking, feeds it to the open ice. Moving on in, centering try off the stick of Waldhauser. What a prime chance for the Utes there to go ahead, but Waldhauser can't corral the pass. So now UNLV off that bit of a scare. 10 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 period. Bryce Johnson takes a puck in deep, moves on into the slot. It gets knifed away, and he's back in on it below the goal line. Here comes Waldhauser, shooting one. It gets tipped to the glass. Now moving on in, Waldhauser shoots, popped up in the air, and settled down by Backel, who sidesteps a hit from Gibney. And now Bryce Johnson on the right wing. He moves on in. Johnson dips a shoulder, tries to feed it to the goal mouth. Doesn't get there. 3 minutes to go in the second period now. Fight for the puck below the goal line. It gets kicked free to the corner and moved softly up to Waldhauser, who plays it to a neutral ice, and picked up by Jackson White for the Rebels, who turns it over. Partial 2-on-1, misplaying the puck was Larilla. Now here comes Backel with the pickpocket, moving it on the right wing and sends it cross corner. Fuller couldn't get his goal stick out to knock it down. Estabrook bumps his man in the corner. Moving on in, below the goal line, tries to put it off the goaltender. That was White's, excuse me. He's with it again, or Masick feeds it over to Ford. Ford tries to get a tip and just goes straight to the kick plate in the corner. Now Masick with it again, tries to feed it to his man. That was McIntosh, doesn't connect as McIntosh fell over. Now Larilla up ice. Gibney gets bumped by Ford, and he'll get changed up. Now DiMaggio, touched on by McIntosh. Now Masick in on the forecheck. John Correa chips it up ice, and DiMaggio picks it up. It gets bumped off the puck by John Correa. What a play there on the forecheck by the Ute. And DiMaggio gets his revenge on Correa with a reverse hit, and Correa almost tips that one home. Just getting back. John Correa with a scoring chance for the Utes. Now below the goal line, Utah setting up shop. They've been loving to do that in this game so far. Final 75 seconds in this one. Now fed across the ice for Mason Kelly, just out of his reach. Stathopoulos lays a body on his man Fletcher. Dylan Kuntz out of the box, does battle with Schwab. Now Mason Kelly in a puck battle. Now Carollo chips it up the left side of the ice. He jumps around the defenseman. Fuller way out of his goal to play that one. He doesn't get burnt on that play. UNLV still on the forecheck, approaching the final 30 seconds of this middle frame. Now here comes the Utes. Waldhauser drops it off for Schwab. Schwab shooting one, just misses the net wide, and Waldhauser is in on that one again. He's got some room, tries to feed it for Bisson, and it goes off of his stick. Jackson Wyatt plays it off the wall for Band. Final 10 seconds for the Rebels and the Utes in this one. A trio of bodies hit the ice in the neutral zone, and Band is going to fire this one into the zone, and the final seconds tick off. And hey, after 40 minutes, these two teams are still knotted up at one.
Well, UNLV should be feeling lucky that this game is still 1-1 with the amount of opportunities Utah had in those final 10 minutes there. It felt like it was nonstop pressure from the Utes, but weren't able to get a good stick on it to get the goal, and it's still 1-1, so UNLV really needs to clean it up going into the third period.
A fun third period, in fact, ahead of us here at City National Arena. Once again, we're going to take a quick break, step away, let the ice resurface, and another 20 minutes or more coming up here at City National Arena.
Well, we remain tied 1-1 here after the second period. Now, somehow the physicality is ramped up. You know, we saw a yard sale as multiple fights and shoving matches in the UNLV offensive zone. Moving on to the game, you know, UNLV comes into the season kind of with a target on their back, a chip on their shoulder, if you will. But they seem to be doing pretty good as they just have to ramp up the speed. Utah also just need to capitalize on those close chances. But with that, Bo, we'll send it over to you.
I'm joined here with freshman forward Luke Backel. Luke, we got a tight one tonight here at City National Arena. Utah's done a great job through the first two, blocking your guys' shooting lanes. How do you find him in the third?
I feel like we just got to play our game. I feel like we're playing down to their level a little bit. If we just stick to our game, I feel like we'll be fine.
And your line's been buzzing tonight. You guys have had a lot of the grade A's. How do you guys capitalize in the third period?
Just got to bury our chances in front, get to the crease a little more, and bang a couple home.
Well, Luke, thank you for your time. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Dom?
Thank you both. Thank you, Kyle, and thank you all who are sticking with us on this about late-ish Friday night.
Late for
Coming
me.
up on 9 p.m. local. Thank you all for sticking with us through two periods. All knotted up at one. UNLV leads in the shot on goal department, 17-14. Utah tying the game up late, or early, I should say, in the middle period. So sides flip once again. We'll see if Utah can upend the defending champs at home on their banner-raising night.
Really a dominant period from Utah as well.
Very much so.
UNLV really needs to get to the locker room and make those adjustments, see if they can get back to how they looked in that first period. Not a very competitive second period from them.
Now UNLV getting it in the zone. Here's Hayden Siegel with it. Down low for Mason Kelly. Kelly now up top for White, who pitches it back down below the goal line, and it winds up for Kuhn. Centering try. Kelly shoots into the chest of Fuller. What a good chance for UNLV in the opening 32 seconds of this third period.
What a great chance. And Garrett Fuller right in the chest. Can't get much closer to the goal than that if you're Mason Kelly. Unable to capitalize on the great chance.
Nonetheless, an offensive zone draw now for UNLV. It's tied up. UNLV comes away with possession. Nagra, D-to-D, shot through traffic, hits Oliver Band, it looks like, and it gets directed back into the corner by Asher Whites. And it gets touched on. Nagra pinches. And it gets lifted off the glass and down the length of the ice. Heath Mensch picks it up and sweeps it rink wide for Whites, and he sends it up for Band, and it rattles off of his stick. Let's get soccered along and up ice. And now here's Heath Mensch with it on the left wing. He sidesteps a hit. Here's Schwab. Mensch loses his piece of lumber. Now here come the Utes, moving on in, shooting one, missing the net wide. That was Waldhauser. Wakeland comes out to play, loses an edge that gets kept at the blue line. That was Barr keeping the zone for Utah. McIntosh plays it off the wall and up ice. Senden picked it up at the officials' crease in the neutral zone. Now UNLV going to work on the breakout. Can't get much going through the neutral zone. A lot of their momentum stopped up. Here come the Utes. Can't get a clean zone entry. Ryder McIntosh gets the tie up. And that gets swept in by Jackson Wyatt. Now McIntosh on the right wing boards to Kuntz. Sweeps it down. Stathopoulos from the dot. Shoots one. Loose puck out in front. Directed aside by John Correa. Good opportunity for Justice Stathopoulos. And Dylan Kuntz freight trains his man on the pinch. Now there's Fuller. Up top now, Fletcher on the tape in the middle of the ice for Kraft. And now it gets sent out of the zone again. No icing. There's Matthew Delaney now winding up the rush behind his own net. Delaney takes it through center, sweeps it to the right wing board, sent in, blocked away into the corner. And maybe even into the protective netting at the 16:49 mark.
Didn't see that there, but whistle blown, so. Still trying to find their footing in this third period.
Both teams, really.
Had the good chance with Mason Kelly right in front of the goal, but other than that, both teams, you're right, not a lot. We did see in the first period, right, that UNLV go off the faceoff, so if it can generate some offensive zone faceoffs, we know that's on the table for them.
Fed out in front, bouncing puck, whacked at by a bunch of players, and Fuller finds it, and here we go again. Brady Estabrook throws a punch and connects square on the kisser of Lorilla. Or Lorilla, excuse me. Fuller came out of his net a little upset.
Well, it's been the story of the night, I would say. The extracurricular activities after the whistle blown right in front of the net.
Is there a penalty for Estabrook on that one? I'm trying to say he went to the bench. But he popped Lorilla straight in the jibs. And it's still 5-a-side, so no penalty there. The refs letting him play a little bit. That's poked on net and held by Fuller. So it's going to be interesting to hear what Utes head coach Morgan Feeney has to say tomorrow night after this game is done and over with, and he has a chance to look at the video and unpack everything.
Sure, nothing
especially
but nice
physicality
things to the officials and UNLV's hospitality.
100%. Mason Kelly bumps his man to the ice. Jensen keeps it in and steers it back into the zone. No offsides. Played away from harm's way by Lorilla, and now here comes Waldhauser. He turns the puck over. Kelly puts a move on to the blue line, waits and puts it off the end boards, and here's Jensen on the opposite side to knife it back in. Doesn't get there, but Siegel tries to pick it up, and it gets sent up into the netting. On the side of the ice with a few staff. It's media manager Megan Roma, one of our interns Lila, and Gene Gomez, videographer, and Michael Craigwood, another videographer for the team, trotting up the stairs there. I'm not going to have a Mike Tirico moment from the Bills game. Not going to call anybody running up the stairs.
Good to know. Didn't expect it.
I wonder whatever happened to that guy with the Matt Milano jersey. I wonder if he kept that football or not. I digress. UNLV, the kick pass on the tape, and now here comes Caleb Strong, offsides. Oliver Band on the right wing. Might have crossed the blue line before the puck got in the zone. Thornton, a good-looking rush for the skating Rebels there.
Really would have been a good look off the rush, too. Probably a shot on goal from Caleb Strong if he can get it in without the offsides, but another one of those rushes that seems it's just can't find their footing for UNLV.
Utah is going to get a penalty call. You saw it there. There's a hit from behind at the Utes bench, and at the 15-12 mark, UNLV is going to be shorthanded. It's going to be Caleb Strong.
Well, not what UNLV needs after a
That's what
less than stellar second period. Getting a confirmation there.
So it's going to be Caleb Strong, 2 for a cross check.
And I'll remind you that last season, that Utah power play was lethal, hitting almost 70%. That's 3 out of 4 times. This is their second chance tonight.
A shot from the point finds its way on net. Wakeland squeezes and holds. We're back underway, 5 minutes even. And counting gone in this third period. Once again, Caleb Strong, 2 minutes for a cross check. Masick can't get around Larilla. Masick still on the forecheck. Taken after the old player who wore that same number, Bradley Gallant.
I keep thinking I'm seeing him out there. Kind of the same sort of, maybe not as low to the ground as Bradley was, but
Bradley
his
Gallant
skating
probably
style.
has the most unique stride I've seen on a hockey player in my entire life. Nothing really beats that. Here comes UNLV on the penalty kill. Joey Carollo joining the rush, moving in below the goal line, looking. Stathopoulos gets taken down. He wanted a call. He won't get such a thing, and UNLV still with possession, halfway done with his penalty kill. It gets sent on in again. Fuller plays it away from danger. And now here comes Matthew Delaney with speed, cutting through center ice, gains his own on the left side, shooting one, misses the net. Pinching is Slater. And that gets sent out. Fuller way out of his net, plays it for Delaney, who will hold. And now Delaney. Hayden Siegel with a poke check, a good stop on Gibney, and Siegel will wait with it and play it back in for Asher White's in his own end, and UNLV will puck drag, and that's going to be sent down the length of the ice on net for Fuller on the tape. Plays it away from the danger of a forward-checking Siegel. Once again, 15 seconds and counting to go. Here comes Cole Bisson. Plays it into the zone. It gets canceled out, and Oliver Band tries to whack at it. Doesn't get out of the zone. Final 5 seconds. A shot from the right dot. Doesn't make it on net. Everyone chopping at it, and that gets skied down the length of the ice in an icing, so the penalty-killing unit won't be able to get off the ice for the Rebels. 13:05 to go, and this is going to be a big face-off in the offensive zone for the Utes to maybe take the lead in this game.
It always feels like to me the final seconds of the power play are still really dangerous because, you know, the guy is just getting back on the ice, and they still got the advantage there for that short couple seconds he's skating down there. Easy to let up after you see the guy coming out of the box, but you got to stay on your toes and defending the goal.
Shot from the point doesn't make it on for the Utes. That gets steered aside once again by Wakeland. Now Utah keeping the zone. Another shot doesn't make its way on net. Hayden Siegel chops it off the boards, and that gets gloved down by Backel. Here comes Backel between the legs, moving on in. What a save by Fuller, and what a move by Backel as he gets obliterated in the corner by Schneider, and he's back up. Both players hustling back. What an effort from the freshman forward, and what a display of hands by Luke Backel. We play on. Here's McIntosh with it. And plays it over for Carollo. Now Carollo settling it down on the backhand for McIntosh. A little bit of a crowded right wing there. McIntosh dances out to the wing, and he pulls up at the edge of the trapezoid. McIntosh up top. Carollo with a drive. Misses the net wide. Now Stathopoulos steers it in on the backhand. Bisson is there for Utah. And now here come the Utes. 3-on-3 into the zone. Sicked away by Wakeland, who doesn't like what he sees and holds for a whistle. And a bit of a snow shower for his effort. UNLV's got to be careful with stepping up for their netminder here. They don't want to go shorthanded again. And everyone will get separated there. That's Waldhauser who's in the middle of that.
Well, what an effort by Backel there to try and get the goal, try and get the energy going. We saw it earlier from McIntosh. You know, the silky mitts, if you will. Now from Backel, but what an effort by Garrett Fuller to make the save there and keep this thing knotted at 1-1.
So we'll see what happens. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at UNLV Rebel Hockey, or X it's called now, for post-game reaction.
The Everything app.
Players and coaches after tonight's game. All home game post-game interviews will be posted to UNLV Hockey Twitter account as Heath Mensch, his shot goes into the high glass. Now UNLV trying to stop a Utah rush, which they do for the most part, and You're going to look to wind up a rush, and that gets tipped on goal, so no icing. Fuller plays it around the wall. Mensch stops it up, plays it up to the point. Jackson Wyatt surveying from the right point. Spins it into the corner on the backhand. Strong is on that. Caleb Strong now up top. White shoots one through traffic. Loose puck out in front. They missed the net wide. That was Mason Kelly on the doorstep. Another chance, and Mason Kelly is going to go for a trip. And that sequence of events goes from bad to worse for Mason Kelly, the junior forward, first missing the net on the doorstep and then taking a penalty. So Utah now on their third power play of the night with 10:47 to go.
You want to talk about a bad swing. Right in front of the net, rebound chance, can't finish, and then in the penalty, we already talked about Utah 0 for 2 so far on the power play, but you can't give them another chance, especially with how this game is going. It's really scrappy, really gritty game. You just need one lucky bounce if you're Utah, and it makes it a lot easier if you're on the power play. So a bad penalty there by UNLV.
So UNLV's got to kill off another Utes man advantage, and here we go. Mason Kelly, 2 minutes for tripping. As that puck goes out of play, just 6 seconds into the PK for UNLV. So 10:40 to go. Shots are 24-19 in favor of the Rebels. Now Larilla up top, shooting one through traffic. Loose puck out in front. Taken away from danger by Joey Carollo, who shovels it out past the blue line on the backhand, but Utah stops it up in a big collision on the opposite boards. It's Estabrook on Waldhauser. That puck gets poked away, and Carollo with it again, and he steers it out. Fuller to play it. Now Larilla. Drops it off for John Correa. Now Correa with it on the right wing. He shovels it in on the backhand. UNLV gets it off the kick, played it out. Fuller stops it up and gives it for Delaney. 1 minute to go on the Mason Kelly tripping minor. Now Delaney drops that off and sets a pick for Slater. And now Utah in the zone. Rink wide. Now moving on in is Fletcher shooting one off the chest of Wakeland. And now behind the UNLV goal, Sothopoulos couldn't peel through traffic. He gets it back on the tape of his stick. And here comes Sothopoulos. 2-on-1. Here comes Dylan Jensen just out of reach. There's a good chance shorthanded for UNLV. Jensen plays it to the open ice and onto the tape for Slater. Slater back for Larilla. And Jensen cancels him out. And a good effort on the forecheck by the sophomore forward. Under 10 seconds to go on the power play for the Utes. Not much going for that Utah man advantage that time. So no dice for the skating Utes on that power play. And here they come once again up the left wing side. A shot from way outside. And Wakeland looked a bit out of sorts there as that puck missed the net. Here comes Bryce Johnson, sweeps it out for Backel. Now Backel spins it up top. Johnson now, look at Bryce Johnson for Wyatt, and he misplays that puck, and it's just off sides. And Backel loses his twig, gets it back though, and he still has to tag up, and he does. Now Johnson. And now Estabrook. Estabrook takes a spill with Kraft. And a loose puck picked up by Caleb Strong, who steers it up to the center ice logo, and it's picked up by Johnson in stride. Johnson on the left side now for Utah, gets pickpocketed. Utah keeps possession. Now Heath Mensch with it. Mensch winding up a rush. Head up through neutral ice. Mensch dances out to the right wing. Strong shoots one, loose puck. Strong gets his own rebound. Asher White shooting one from the point. It goes up high, and it goes on the back of the net. No goal. The official called it a goal for some reason. I don't know why that happened. City National Arena erupted for a brief moment there, but we play on. Here's Strong for Niagara, who has a goal tonight. Shoots one. Rebound, Mensch out front, and it's a loose puck. And we got another powder keg. Garrett Fuller going after a man who's down out in front. It looks like it could be Oliver Mann or Brady Estabrook, and they're down in a heap, and cooler heads prevail soon after. That was Oliver Mann there.
Able to put the pin back in the hand grenade there. Not like things get too explosive, but I don't know how they called that a goal for a second there. That was the most obvious back of the net I've ever seen. It would bounce off the glass.
I'm not sure, man, but we're going to take a quick moment to reflect and take our final TV break of the night. Stay with us. The final half or so of this third period is coming right up.
The mountains are my favorite place to get away and be together. With Lazy Dog, I wanted to create that same experience for our guests. Whether you're meeting up for happy hour, getting the whole crew together to celebrate, or looking for a delicious dinner at home, we're your local spot. Great ingredients are at the heart of our scratch kitchen, so we look for partners that put the same care into their craft as we do. So stop by and get back to what really matters.
Sapienza here with Fox 5 and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Make sure you check out my show, Hockey in the Desert Weekly, the only show that highlights your 2025 ACHA National Champion Skating Rebels. From weekly highlights to features on players and staff, I sit down with a member of the Scarlet and Gray each and every week, so make sure you tune in to Hockey in the Desert Weekly every Wednesday at midnight right here on Fox 5 and throughout the week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
All right, welcome back inside of City National Arena. Just in time, getting set for the faceoff just outside the UNLV offensive zone after that little Donnybrook. Or not even a Donnybrook, we'll just call that a little dust up. Some irritation.
Sure.
The Utes still in the zone. A shot from the point off the end boards, kicks out into the trapper of Wakeland, who holds for a whistle. 7 minutes even to go in this third period. 27-20 are the shots in favor of UNLV.
This is going to be a long 7 minutes for both teams.
It's been a long, about 53 minutes already, AJ, of hockey here.
And, you know, the physicality probably taking a toll on both these teams by now.
100%.
Probably why cooler heads were able to prevail in that last situation.
Yeah, they're like, we don't really need to do all this right now. Siegel with a drive, rebound, Kelly scores! And Hayden Siegel with some choice words for Garrett Fuller, but Dylan Kuntz grabs him by the collar and points him in the handshake line. Mason Kelly with a go-ahead goal.
Yawning cage for Kelly. And UNLV back on top in banner night off the rebound. They were looking for that shot all night, it felt like. Weren't able to get a good stick on the puck. Finally, yawning cage, wide open. Mason Kelly finds it. Hard to miss that one, and he didn't. Buries it. And our tie is broken.
UNLV once again in the driver's seat of this game with just under 7 to go. Mason Kelly, after that disastrous end to one of his final shifts, he misses the net on the doorstep, then takes a penalty. UNLV kills a penalty off, and he comes back, and he's not going to be denied this time or that time, and now here he comes again on the left wing, and he spins that one into the zone.
That's what you want to see from a returning player like Mason Kelly, who's been here. You don't want to see him take a bad penalty like that, but to come out and get the goal.
Definitely what you want to see there. And kind of interested to see if those choice words from Siegel to Fuller has any impact. And Dylan Jensen and Lorilla is tied up and all sorts, and Lorilla is hugging Dylan Jensen. And they finally separate. The official there in the corner let him go for a hot minute there. They could have done an icebreaker. They were locked together for so long. But we play
or
on
something
nonetheless.
Like that.
Here comes Johnson, feeding one of the slots. Shot by back goal. Save made Fuller. Now here's Johnson with it below the goal line. He feeds it off the boards, and it kicks out of the zone. Joey Carollo gives chase, and he's in a foot race with Slater. Carollo wins that one. Under 5.5 to go now in this third period, and UNLV's going to look to settle things down.
Well, the offense looking much improved from the last period for sure. 2 great chances, one resulting in a goal and one right there, almost a goal. Try and keep more of this pressure on, see if UNLV can add one.
Now Brady Estabrook kicks the puck free, centering try. Johnson shoots and misses the net from the slot. Bryce Johnson with a grade A scoring chance there. No joy. Asher White's winding up around the cage. And here he comes, the rush himself. He catches an edge, no penalty. And the crowd doesn't like that. And now here comes Sunagol on the left wing side for Utah, who dumps it in and takes a bump for his effort. And that gets on net with Wakeland. 4:24 to go. UNLV has finally hit the 30-shot mark. So 4:24 remaining.
Palindrome number.
I'm sorry?
Palindrome number 424.
I have no idea what that means.
Same backwards and forwards.
Oh, okay. See, you learn something new every day. All right, that's poked on, and now here come the Rebels. That's Heath Mensch, who had it in his skates. He's got it again. That was an offsides that didn't get blown dead. Now Mensch once more with it, who turns it back into his own zone for Band. Oliver Band now. Down low. Now here's Jackson White on the right side. He chips that into the zone. Bisson plays it up. That's Schwab. And now that's played back in. No icing, so Filler comes outside the trapezoid to play it. Now here's Matthew Delaney. Delaney tries a head fake, if that was on purpose. A bit of a sounk. Shout out to Keith Yandel, whether it's intentional or not. And fed out in front, loose puck, and that one was a deadly opportunity there for Utah. A bit of a bouncer close to the goal mouth. The puck stays out of the net, and we approach the 3-minute mark now. That puck careens off of Matthew Delaney. Stathopoulos wins the puck battle and almost puts it on net and goes careening into the end boards. A good effort from Justice Stathopoulos there. And we play on once again. Gets chopped back into the zone. Senden takes that. Now in the UNLV zone, they steer it out for an icing. Hayden Siegel nearly beats that one out.
Well, we're lucky this one's still 2-1 UNLV with that opportunity they had. Yawning cage, wide open, but like UNLV for most of the game, couldn't find a stick on the puck, and that is ultimately what matters when you're scoring goals. Gotta have someone to finish the job, and no one there for Utah. 2:16 left in this one. The Utah offensive zone faceoff coming up.
We got a timeout on the ice. 2:16 to go. I believe the timeout was UNLV.
Well, you can't take them with you, right? So,
might as well.
You know, we got a big offensive zone face-off coming up for Utah. So, got to make sure your defense is well prepared for what they might bring.
100%. I'm interested to see if Fuller stays out of the net here. That's what I'm interested to see, if they're going to pull the netminder or not.
Oh, and Utah scored off the faceoff earlier this game from the point.
That they did. UNLV disembarks from their bench. Utah still talking things over.
I think Fuller is going to stay
Keeping an eye on Fuller still just off camera here. Gets a fist bump from Joseph Graylick. And Fuller looks like he's halfway in between. He's figuring it out, and he gets the point to go back to the crease. So Fuller is going to stay on the ice at least. Let's see how far he's going to be out of the net, though. Is at the bottom hash mark in between the face-off dots.
I think that's the right decision.
So Fuller's going to get chased back into his net for another icing on the Rebels. 2:09 to go now.
Oh, now do you take him out?
If I want to be conservative, 30 more seconds. And
I think
as I say that, Fuller comes out. 2:09 to go. The Utes pull their goalie. So 6-on-5 for Utah. And that gets chipped up to the red line. And now UNLV sends the puck out of play. Minute 51 to go. Still 6-on-5. Utah still with the empty net. UNLV almost sweeps it out of the zone. Now here come the Utes. A shot from just outside. Save made. Wakeland with a whistle. $1:44 left.
we'll do it again.
That we will. Same side. Once again, make sure to tune in on the UNLV Rebel Hockey X profile for post-game reaction to this game and all Skating Rebel home games.
I have a feeling we're in for a fiery one.
That we are. Mason Kelly airmails and he scores. And Mason Kelly from way downtown, and we got some fisticuffs. Matthew Delaney and Hayden Siegel and Lorilla as well. And here come the rest of the UNLV Skating Rebels players. And Hayden Siegel and Mason Kelly pumping up the crowd as they go through the handshake line. So Mason Kelly missing the net a pair of times right on the doorstep. He doesn't miss the third time. And Chef Curry with the shot from way downtown pots the empty netter.
Hey, I like to see that from Kelly, who had the really bad penalty after the miss earlier in the game, making up for two big goals for UNLV, the second of which being the empty netter. The extracurriculars came from Hayden Siegel, making sure that puck was in the net right at the end of the goal there. Utah didn't like that very much.
So it's going to be interesting tomorrow night, 7 p.m. These two teams from the WCHL do battle once again. We're going to see how the pleasantries from this game possibly spill into the game tomorrow night.
I got a feeling we're in for more of the same, Dom.
I believe so too, AJ. I mean, these two teams certainly don't like each other as we at the final minute here at City National Arena on opening night and banner raising night. And a big collision at the red line. Dylan Coates sending Schwab on his behind there. What a big time hit for one of the newest alternate captains of this team. Making his family and friends proud in the corner right next to us.
Well, maybe we can say that's the...
And we got a shaken up Ute in the neutral zone and a delayed penalty. It's whistled dead. That's Schwab favoring one of his legs, and it looks like it's going to be Jackson Wyatt, more than likely for unsportsmanlike. So Schwab goes down in the neutral zone with an apparent injury. That's not Brady Schwab, excuse me. He goes down with an injury. And Jackson Wyatt just chops the stick out of his hands while he's down. So Fuller stays in the net. Utah back on the power play. Their fourth shot on the man advantage tonight with 20 seconds to go. And a shot just goes wide. Now we're approaching the final 10.
You might as well pull the goalie and make it 6-on-4, but not what they're going to do.
A one-time drive from the circle, and it goes off of the crossbar, it looks like, in the final seconds. Tick off, and Lorilla fires one down the length of the ice. UNLV begins their title defense with a 3-1 win over the Utah Skating Utes.
Well, I would describe this one as a gritty win for UNLV. Had to scratch and claw their way for those 3 goals. Nothing easy. Of course, Garrett Fuller, we know how good he is. We've seen him at SDSU perform. We've now seen him for 2 years at Utah perform. So we know they got a good goalie there and had to fight for it. But certainly going to be a fiery post-game press conference from the coach, I have to imagine.
We'll see. Once again, make sure to follow UNLV Rebel Hockey on X to see the post-game reaction from tonight. A successful banner defense and every single Skating Rebel home game. So as the team salutes the crowd, once again, the final score here from City National Arena. Skating Rebels 3, Skating Utes 1. On behalf of A.J. Reed, Kyle Sparrow, Zoe Salas, Bo Kennedy, Jack Bridges, Rolando Guerrero, Gene Gomez, Kyle Kimsey, and myself, Dominic Cavall, and everyone else here on the UNLV Skating Rebel broadcast and media staff, we want to say good night and thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to be right back here at 7 p.m. sharp Saturday night to see these two teams do battle once again.